Night, the castle is quiet. Stone walls, which usually echo with footsteps and servants' voices, now rest in deep silence. Torches placed along the corridors burn slowly, casting a soft golden light that dances across the old stones. Outside, the wind moves over the tall towers, carrying the cool scent of the night sky. Inside the castle, everyone sleeps. Except the king. He walks slowly through the long hallway, each footstep gentle against the cold stone floor. His robes trail behind him, made of heavy velvet, deep in color, warm against the chill of the night. He has ruled all day, decisions, conversations, diplomacy, but now, the noise of the world fades. This is the 1 hour he owns. He moves past tall windows that look out into the courtyard. The moonlight spills in, making a soft silver path along the floor. Faint mist hangs over the grass outside, resting against the base of the walls. The world outside looks calm. Peaceful, still. The king pauses. He places a hand on the cool glass of the window. His reflection looks back at him, tired eyes, strong shoulders, a face that carries the weight of responsibility. During the day, everyone sees the crown. At night, only he feels its weight. This moment isn't heavy. It's gentle. Night has a way of taking the day's noise, the pressure, the decisions, and letting them dissolve into quiet air. He continues walking. Servant appears at the end of the hall, bowing his head as the king approaches. Servant speaks softly, barely louder than a whisper. "The chambers are ready, sire." King nods, slow and peaceful. No more words are needed. Nighttime, every sound feels sacred, every whisper, a small ripple in a sea of silence. Steps inside his private chamber. The room is large, but warm. Tapestries hang on the walls, woven with stories of old battles and victories. Daylight, those tapestries feel powerful. Night, they are only shapes in the dark, soft, muted, harmless. Candles burn all around the room, their flames moving gently, like they breathe. Fire burns in the stone fireplace, not too bright, just enough to warm the air. Crackle is soft, most comforting, like a slow heartbeat. In the center of the room stands the king's bed. All wooden posts reach upward, carved with symbols and patterns of the kingdom. Heavy curtains hang from the frame, velvet, deep blue, soft to the touch. Inside the curtains, the bed is covered with linen sheets and a thick wool blanket. Mattress is soft, stuffed with feathers gathered from swans and geese. It is a luxury only a king could own. He doesn't sit yet. He stands still, allowing himself to feel the calm. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. This is the first moment all day that belongs only to him. As the night deepens, his personal attendants begin his bedtime ritual. Two of them quietly approach. One carries a bowl of warm water. The other carries a linen cloth, folded carefully. No one speaks. Silence is part of the ritual. Bowl is placed on a small oak table carved with floral patterns. King dips his hands in the water. Warmth touches his skin. He washes slowly, letting the water carry away the day, the dust from walking through the castle, the ink from the letters he signed, the weight of every decision. History often paints kings as powerful. Right now, he is simply human, a man washing away the day's burdens. He dries his hands with the linen cloth. The fabric feels soft, worn by many washings. He imagines how many nights, how many routines, how many quiet private moments have passed just like this one. Minutes stretch. Not rushed, not measured, just lived. Near the fireplace sits a small wooden writing desk. The king walks toward it and opens a leather-bound journal. Its pages are filled with neat handwriting, reflections, thoughts, memories. These pages know more truth than any advisor. He dips a quill into ink and begins to write. Kingdom sleeps, he writes slowly, and for a moment, I envy them. Pauses. Listens. Crackling fire. Soft wind outside. Quiet hum of his own breath. He writes again. Day I carried my crown. Night, I carry myself. He sets the quill down. He closes the journal. He feels lighter. Underscore 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 underscore. Underscore 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 underscore. He steps away from the desk and walks toward a tall wooden cabinet. Inside hang his night garments, soft, lightweight, made of fine linen. Servant helps him change from his heavy royal attire into the simple night robe. Robe is warm, barely touching the skin, loose around his body. King's comfort rarely matters during the day. At night, comfort becomes a royal privilege. He moves to the bed, lifts the heavy blanket and sits on the edge. For a moment, he doesn't lie down. He just sits, feeling the softness of the sheets, feeling the warmth of the fire, feeling peace. He exhales, long and slow. Kind that releases everything. Then, gently, he leans back into the bed. The sheets welcome him. Pillow supports him. World finally lets go. Night, the king rests. Night wraps him in soft darkness. And slowly, the kingdom fades away. Fire settles into a steady glow. In the stillness, the king's breathing becomes slower. He does not sleep yet. He simply rests, allowing the warmth to loosen the day from his body. His shoulders relax. His hands soften on the blanket. His thoughts begin to drift like leaves floating on a quiet river. Near the bed, a servant approaches with a small wooden tray. On the tray rests a cup made of polished silver. Inside is a warm drink of milk and herbs. Mixture of lavender, mint, and honey. Medieval times, this was believed to calm the mind and invite sleep gently. Nothing strong. Nothing sharp. Only quiet ingredients that help the body remember peace. Servant bows, then steps back. King raises the cup. He breathes in a soft fragrance. Gentle warmth touches his lips. He drinks slowly. Taste is mild, comforting, safe. He places the cup back on the tray. The servant nods and walks away, feet silent on the stone floor. Door closes with a slow click that fades into the night. The king is alone again. The room glows with candlelight. The flames sway, soft and unhurried. Shadows move slowly across the walls. Tapestries no longer show battles or reminders of duty. In this light, they look like soft patterns of color. Nothing more. The king turns his head toward the window. Outside, the moon hangs low. Soft white circle in a deep sky. He watches it through half-closed eyes. The moon looks calm and patient. It has seen countless kings, countless nights. It will rise again long after this night is forgotten. He whispers quietly. Not a command, not a speech, just a soft thought. Even the moon carries no crown. Lets the idea rest in the air. Night, he is not a ruler. He is not a decision. He is not a symbol. He is simply a man, breathing. His body sinks deeper into the mattress. The wool blanket settles over him like a gentle weight. Warmth moves through his legs, then his back, then up to his shoulders. Everything becomes still. The silence is not empty. It is comforting. The fire continues to crackle. Soft. Rhythmic. Almost like a lullaby. In the corner of the chamber, a servant lowers one candle. Flame shrinks and disappears. Another candle is lowered. And another. Each one dims the room a little more, till only 2 candles remain. King watches them. Their light flickers in his eyes. He thinks of the people who sleep under his rule. He thinks of children in small villages guarded by his laws. He thinks of farmers, blacksmiths, merchants, simple lives that carry no heavy decisions. He imagines them sleeping without worry. Soft inhale, slow exhale. He envies them, but he also finds peace in knowing they rest. Remaining candles flicker gently. The room grows darker, softer, quieter. He turns to his pillow and allows his head to settle. Pillow shapes itself to him. His breathing becomes slower, deep, steady. Final servant enters. He bows low, speaks with a whisper. May your rest be peaceful. King does not reply, not because he ignores, because he is already drifting. Servant pulls the curtains around the bed. Thick velvet, blue, fall into place and close the king into his private cocoon of darkness. World fades on the other side of the curtains. King surrenders to stillness. All that remains is the soft sound of the fire. He listens. Pop, crackle, pop. Flames speak without needing words. They say, "It is time to rest." King's eyes close fully now. Not forced, not pushed, just welcomed into sleep. Drifts, quiet, weightless. The Outside, the moon moves across the sky. Torches in the halls burn lower.
Yeah.
Castle breathes with him.
Have a good one.
Night holds him like a gentle hand. And slowly, very slowly, sleep begins to take him. Room grows darker. Last candle shifts in place, its light small and steady. Velvet curtains around the bed soften the world. Everything outside becomes distant. Torches in the hallway burn low, leaving only the warm orange of the fireplace. The first time today, the king feels weightless. His hands rest on the blanket. His breath falls into a gentle rhythm. Each inhale feels like the world entering. Each exhale feels like the world leaving. His thoughts begin to float. He thinks of nothing specific. Just small shapes, soft images. Kind that fade as soon as they appear. Memory drifts in. He remembers being young. For the crown. For responsibility. For worry. He remembers running through tall fields, the grass brushing against his clothes. The sun warm on his face. Wind in his hair. His feet bare. The world simple. There was no council. No war. No politics. Only freedom. Only breath. Only life. Memory fades gently, like mist. He does not fight it. He allows it to come. He allows it to go. That is the language of sleep. Fire shifts again. Log settles deeper into the embers. Soft sparks rise, then disappear into the chimney. King hears them. He does not open his eyes. He is sinking deeper now. His body feels heavier. His mind lighter. This moment belongs to no one but him. Turns slightly, the sheets soft beneath his hand. His fingers trace the fabric without meaning to. Linen is cool and smooth. Blanket is warm. The air smells faintly of cedar from the wood of the bedposts. Outside, an owl calls from a distant tower. One single note. Calm. Only. Peaceful. King's breathing slows again. Hail. Pause. Exhale. Silence wraps around him. Patient. Gentle. Hurried. His heart beats slower. Not tired. It's peaceful. He is no longer the king who signs letters and hears petitions. No longer the ruler who decides the fate of a kingdom. No longer the voice others must listen to. He is simply a man, resting in soft darkness. Night accepts him. Slowly, dreams begin to open like a quiet door. He finds himself walking along a riverbank in the dark. Moonlight touches the surface of the water, making soft silver ripples. The air is cool. The world is silent. He does not question how he came here. Dreams do not require explanations. He walks slowly, the grass brushing his feet. Each step light. Each breath steady. Fireflies appear along the river. Tiny dots of gold. Moving freely. Like stars that decided to come down to earth. He watches them dance around him. They carry no message. They carry no meaning. They are simply there. It's like sleep. As he stands by the river in the dream, the water reflects the moon. The river moves slowly. Almost still. Like a living mirror. He kneels beside it and touches the surface with his hand. Water is cool and smooth. Pools expand outward, then fade into stillness again. He breathes. For the first time in a long while, he feels completely at peace. No noise. No demands. No expectations. Only water. Only night. Only quiet. He sits down in the grass. The world holds him with gentle hands. Sleep pulls him deeper. His eyelids do not tremble. His body does not shift. His thoughts no longer wander. He has crossed into the soft space between waking and dreaming. A place where nothing has to be understood. Where everything is allowed to be simple. River fades. Fireflies fade. World becomes soft and distant. Now there is only calm. Only rest. Only breath. King sleeps. Deep. Peaceful. Disturbed. Nothing reaches him now. Belongs to the night. Night holds the king like a soft blanket. Inside the castle walls, the world is vast and sleeping. Wind travels through the trees, touching the leaves one by one. Moves without hurry, without force. The world is quiet enough that even the smallest sounds feel important. Distant river glides across smooth rocks. Water whispers to itself. If you stand close enough, you can hear the rhythm of the current. Soft. Steady. Almost like breathing. Inside the castle, a guard shifts his weight from one foot to the other. He tries not to make noise, but his armor gives off a faint tap. Lowers his eyes and listens to the stillness. Nothing moves. Nothing threatens. Fire in the king's room has burned down to embers. Not gone. Just resting. Glow spreads a soft red color across the stones. Looks like the heart of the night. Quiet. Safe. King's breathing is deep and slow. Sleep, he returns to something simple. Something human. Dreams. In a dream, he is walking along a path lined with tall trees. Trees rise high into the darkness, their branches forming a gentle arch above him. Moonlight touches the leaf. They shine with silver edges. Reaches out and traces his hand along the bark of a tree. Feels cool. Alive. His footsteps make no sound. Path beneath him is soft. Ground remembers every foot that ever walked upon it, yet makes no effort to hold him. He is free to move forward. Head, fireflies appear again. Dozens of them. Float in the air like tiny pieces of light. Follows them without thinking. Lead him to an open clearing. As sways in the wind. Calm Lake sits in front of him, dark and perfectly still. Stars above reflect on the surface, making the lake look like a second sky. Sits beside it. Night is not heavy. Is kind. Looks at his hands. They are not the hands of a king. Not strong from power. Not marked by duty. Just hands. Hands that have touched scrolls. Hands that have lifted armor. Hands that have held the weight of choices. Night, they hold nothing. Places them on the grass. Earth accepts him without question. Soft breeze moves across the surface of the lake. Small ripples appear and glide outward, slow and smooth. Watches them fade away. Every ripple feels like a thought leaving his mind. Every gentle wave takes another worry. Another burden. Soon the water is still again. Closes his eyes. World waits with him. Back in the castle, the guards remain silent. One of them lowers his chin, fighting the heaviness of sleep. Flame in the lantern shifts. Moth drifts near the light, then disappears into the shadow again. Far away in the courtyard, a horse breathes out a long warm sigh. Its tail brushes softly against the wooden stall. Stable cat curls up under a hay rack and settles into sleep. Every part of the castle rests. Every corridor. Every servant. Every thought. Inside the chamber, the king turns onto his other side. Sheets move softly beneath him. Pillow molds itself to the shape of his head. His body sinks deeper into the feather mattress. His dreams carry him farther. The dream, he sees dawn. Not yet real, only imagined. He sees light climbing over the horizon. Feels warmth touching the grass. Does not wake. He simply senses the promise of morning. His breathing becomes even slower. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. He is no longer aware of the castle. He is no longer aware of his title. He is no longer aware of anything except rest. There is only peace. He sleeps deeper. Night continues to watch over him. Hours pass like quiet footsteps in a long hallway. Castle remains still. Gentle breeze slips through the narrow window in the king's chamber. Fabric of the bed curtain moves just slightly, almost like a sigh. Room has grown darker now. Not the darkness of fear. The darkness of deep rest. You stood beside the bed. You could hear the soft rhythm of the king's breathing. Slow. Steady. Peaceful. Outside, the moon begins to drift lower in the sky.
Good morning, heading out early.
Light touches the edge of the roof tiles.
Have a good one.
Slides across the stone wall. Settles on the sleeping garden below. The garden, dew forms on leaves. Drops gather at the tips. And fall silently to the earth. Plants do not rush. Do not force anything. They simply exist. Like the king in his bed. Night deepens further. Guard walks along the outer wall. His feet brushing lightly against gravel. Pauses beside one of the tall torches. Watching the flame move and shift. For a moment. Then he is mesmerized. By the quiet. He thinks about his own small home. Beyond the hills. He thinks about the soft voice of his wife. The laughter of his children. He wonders if they are sleeping now. He smiles. Then he turns and continues walking. Inside, the king's dream shifts. He is no longer by the lake. He is walking through his private garden inside the castle walls. Moonlight rests on marble statues. Roses are closed for the night. Petals hugging themselves against the cool air. He moves between them. Barefoot on the stone path. His night tunic feels soft against his skin. No heavy cloak. No golden symbols. No crown pressing against his temples. Just fabric. Just breath. Just peace. He sits on a carved stone bench and closes his eyes. He can hear the small fountain in the center of the garden. Water falls gently from tier to tier. It sounds like whispered words. As if the water is telling a secret it has kept for centuries. King doesn't try to understand. Simply listens. Time no longer matters. The real world. The chamber where he sleeps. Candle burns its final inch. Flame grows smaller. And steadies. And again, smaller. Wax gathers at the base. Shape of it becomes uneven. Like a tiny frozen waterfall. Candle gives one last glowing breath. Goes out. Room becomes darker. It does not feel empty. Darkness feels warm. Soft. Like velvet wrapped around him. King does not wake. His body has surrendered completely to rest. His mind has loosened every thread of thought. There is only breath. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Far away in the forest beyond the castle. An owl glides low between the trees. Its wings make no sound. Passes over the tops of ancient branches. As effortlessly as a shadow through water. Stars begin their slow descent. Few disappear behind clouds. Others hold their place. Like small lamps hung in the sky. World prepares for morning. Not yet. Not now. There is still more night to enjoy. King remains still, wrapped in the softness of silence. He does not know that he is being watched over. He does not know the patience of the guards. Quiet steps of servants. Or the gentle glow of the dying fire. He knows only peace. Kind of peace that touches not just the body, the soul. Peace that reminds him. Reminds you. That rest is not earned. Rest is allowed. You are safe here too. Listening. Breathing. Drifting. There There is nothing you must do. There is nowhere you must go. Just like the king. You can let yourself let go. Now, the chamber grows even more quiet. Pages have left. Guards stand outside the heavy wooden door. Inside, the king is alone. Flames in the fireplace fall lower. You can hear only a faint crackle, like soft rain touching dry leaves. King takes a slow breath. His mind drifts. He thinks of the roads beyond the castle walls. Farmers traveling with lanterns, whispering while the night wind pushes their cloaks. Children asleep in cottages. Dogs curled by the warm ashes of a hearth. Wonders if they ever think of him. Not as a king. Just as a man. Walks toward the large window hidden behind a velvet curtain. Pulls the cloth aside. Night sky is wide and alive. Stars scattered everywhere. Thin silver moon hangs above the courtyard. Places his hand on the cold stone window frame. Silence comforts him. High above his kingdom, he feels small. Strangely, that brings peace. Closes his eyes and listens. Wind brushes past the battlements. Owl calls in the distance. Hail. Pause. Exhale. Far away in the forest beyond the castle. Owl glides low between the trees. Its wings make no sound. Passes over the tops of ancient branches. As effortlessly as a shadow through water. Stars begin their slow descent. Few disappear behind clouds. Others hold their place. Like small lamps hung in the sky. World prepares for morning. Not yet. Not now. There's still more night to enjoy. King remains still, wrapped in the softness of silence. He does not know that he is being watched over. He does not know the patience of the guards. Quiet steps of servants. Or the gentle glow of the dying fire. He knows only peace. Kind of peace that touches not just the body, the soul. Peace that reminds him. Reminds you. Rest is not earned. Rest is allowed. You are safe here too. Listening. Breathing. Lifting. There is nothing you must do. There is nowhere you must go. Just like the king. You can let yourself let go. Now, the chamber grows even more quiet. Pages have left. Guards stand outside the heavy wooden door. Inside, the king is alone. Flames in the fireplace fall lower. You can hear only a faint crackle, like soft rain touching dry leaves. King takes a slow breath. His mind drifts. Thinks of the roads beyond the castle walls. Farmers traveling with lanterns, whispering while the night wind pushes their cloaks. Children asleep in cottages. Dogs curled by the warm ashes of a hearth. Wonders if they ever think of him. Not as a king. Just as a man. Walks toward the large window hidden behind a velvet curtain. Pulls the cloth aside. Night sky is wide and alive. Stars scattered everywhere. Thin silver moon hangs above the courtyard. Places his hand on the cold stone window frame. Silence comforts him. High above his kingdom, he feels small. Strangely, that brings peace. Closes his eyes and listens. Wind brushes past the battlements. Owl calls in the distance. Warm drink travels through him, loosening the tight grip of worry around his shoulders. Sets the cup down. Single candle still burns beside it. Watches the flame bend and straighten again. Murmurs to himself. One more day completed. Steps toward the bed. Sheets are heavy wool, soft from many winters. Fur throw lies at the foot of the bed. Runs his hands over the fabric. World outside his window may be uncertain. Political alliances. Meetings. Letters waiting for answers. Not here. Tonight. Night, imagination wanders wherever it wants. Sits on the edge of the bed. Closes his eyes again. For a moment, he remembers when he was a boy. Running barefoot through tall grass. Laughing as the wind chased him. Falling asleep without thinking of borders or battles. Soft breath escapes him. Lowers himself into bed. Mattress accepts his weight. Blankets settle around him like a gentle embrace. His mind slows. Tomorrow will bring what it brings, he whispers. There's comfort in not knowing. Comfort in letting go. King reaches for the small hourglass on the bedside table. Turns it over. Grains of sand begin their steady descent. He watches. Each grain passing through the narrow space feels like a thought letting go. Worry dissolving. Responsibility fading until morning. Begins to breathe in a calm rhythm. Slow inhale. Long exhale. Candle on the table flickers again. Flame bends lower, then rises, then lowers again, like a small dancer preparing to rest.
Good morning.
King closes his eyes.
Trying to beat the heat.
Warmth surrounds him. World softens. He is not a ruler. He is not a legend. He is just a human drifting into sleep. As his breathing deepens, the candle weakens. Wax pulls at its base. Light shrinks. King feels the moment between waking and dreaming. That soft, floating space where nothing has a name. Outside, clouds move over the moon. In the castle walls, time slows down. Candle burns lower. Lower. Till darkness wraps the room in quiet comfort. Nothing else matters. Sleep arrives. King's breath becomes steady. Outside, the wind shifts. No longer whispers. Sighs. Long and soft, like a lullaby for the old stone walls. Moonlight travels through the window and touches the corner of the room. It hangs in the air. Floating gently, like tiny grains of snow. King opens his eyes halfway. Watches them drift. Doesn't move. Doesn't need to. Night, stillness is enough. Far below the castle, across the fields, a river moves quietly through the land. Even from here, he can almost hear it. Slow, steady flow. Water carving its path, patient and calm. He imagines that river carrying away every thought that tries to keep him awake. Every concern. Every worry. Lets them go. One at a time. He releases the meetings. Strategies. Faces of people who want something from him. Disappear into the sound of an imagined river. And he releases older worries. Ones that have lived in his mind for years. They, too, drift away. Only silence remains. He turns slightly on the mattress. Blankets shift with him, heavy enough to feel safe, light enough to be comfortable. Soft breeze moves the edges of the curtains. They sway. Settle again. King is warm. His eyelids grow heavy. Before he falls asleep, he reaches toward the table beside the bed and touches a thin parchment. It is a letter. Letter he reads every night. Ink has faded. Edges are worn. Runs a finger across the top of the page. It is a letter from someone he once loved. He unfolds it slowly. Paper sighs. He reads the first line in his mind. Hope you sleep peacefully, wherever you are. Closes his eyes. He can almost hear her voice. Soft. Gentle. Voice that never demanded anything. He holds the letter against his chest. For a moment, he lets himself feel. Not as a king. Not as a symbol of power. Just as a person. Warm tears rest behind his eyelids, but they don't fall. They simply exist. Places the letter back under the candle tray, where he keeps it hidden, safe. Memories can be heavy. Tonight, they feel light. His breath slows again. Turns his head toward the ceiling. Notices a pattern in the carved wood above him. Flowering vine. Leaves curling around each other. Traces the curves with his eyes. Each small detail was carved by someone long gone. Craftsman who worked with care. Shaped the wood while thinking of someone he loved. King appreciates that. Even in silence, even in sleep, we are surrounded by pieces of other people's dreams. His body sinks deeper into the mattress. Air becomes warmer. Fireplace glows softly, just enough to keep the chill away. Now the darkness feels like a safe blanket. Place where no one can reach him. Time pauses. Titles mean nothing. He whispers to the quiet room. Thank you. He doesn't know who he is thanking. Night. Quiet. Memory of someone he loved. Maybe all of them. Breathes again, slower. More relaxed. More at peace. Candle reaches its final moments. Flame dances. Shrinks. Rests. And, with a gentle sigh, it goes out. Darkness welcomes everything. King's breathing becomes deep and even. Outside, the castle sleeps with him. Inside, his dreams begin. King drifts into sleep. Not all at once. Happens gently, the way morning fog rises before the world wakes. His breathing softens. His face relaxes. Quiet stillness spreads over his body like a warm cover. His mind opens to the world of dreams. First, there is nothing but darkness. Soft. Comforting. Velvet. Then a small shape appears. Light. Far away. Faint. Steady. Moves toward it, not with effort, but with thought alone. Light grows warmer. Closer. Soon, the darkness fades into a soft blue glow. King finds himself standing in a field. Grass moves gently with the wind. Air smells of lavender. Scent that reaches deep into his lungs and calms everything inside him. He is not wearing a crown. He is not wearing royal robes. He is barefoot. His feet touch the cool grass. Feels real. More real than the castle. He looks up. Sky is filled with stars. Not scattered. Arranged in slow, drifting lines, like a river of light. Stars shimmer. Somewhere far away, an owl calls into the night. King takes a step. Grass bends under his feet. He feels free. Small stream appears ahead, the water clear and still. Moonlight rests on its surface like silver lace. Kneels beside it. Touches the water. Is cool. Soft. Comforting. Water reflects his face. Not the tired king. Not the heavy eyes. Not the weight of duty. Instead, sees himself as he was long ago. Young. Carefree. Filled with dreams. He smiles, a small, gentle smile. For a long moment, he watches the reflection. Wind moves again, carrying the sound of distant bells. Soft. Chimes made of glass. Stands. Small path appears, glowing faintly beneath the grass, inviting him forward. Follows. Each step becomes lighter than the last. Worries he once carried begin to evaporate. Responsibilities. Fears. Pressure to be strong. Fall away like petals drifting from a flower. As he walks, a warm mist rises around him. Mist doesn't hide anything. It softens everything. Shapes become gentle. Edges blur. His mind relaxes deeper. He inhales. Air tastes like peace. He exhales. World becomes quieter.
Morning, heading out early.
Ahead, the path curves toward an ancient stone arch covered in vines. Moonlight rests on every leaf. Touches the arch gently. Stone is warm. Voice, distant and soft, drifts through the air. Not commanding. Not demanding. Just welcoming. Can't recognize the words, but he recognizes the feeling. Longing. Takes a step through the arch. The other side. There's a garden. Garden that could never exist in the waking world. Garden where night and peace live forever. Fireflies move slowly through the air. Their light is dim, as if they were made just for sleepy eyes. Small fountain rests in the center. Water does not rush. Drips gently. Rhythmic. Steady. Rip. 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 Each drop feels like another thought letting go. King sits on a stone bench beside the fountain. The first time in a long time, he does not think. He only feels. Closes his eyes in the dream. The dream holds him. Stars continue their slow dance above him. Grass leans toward him as if listening. Water keeps its gentle rhythm. Rip. 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 King's body, in the real world, sinks deeper into the maw, sinks deeper into the mattress. His hands rest quietly on the blanket. His breathing becomes long and steady. The dream world, he leans back against the stone bench. Warmth wraps around him. Night whispers, "You are safe." The king whispers back, half in dream and half in sleep. No. Stars fade into soft, hazy light. Dream grows deeper. Drifts. Slowly. Peacefully. To complete rest. Dream shifts. Not abruptly. Not with force. Clouds changing shape. Soft and unhurried. King remains seated by the fountain. Soft dripping water blends into the rhythm of his breathing. Listens. Every drop feels like time slowing down. Leans his head back and looks at the sky again. Stars are no longer scattered. Form constellations gently moving across the heavens. As if the universe itself is drawing a map just for him. Cool breeze passes through the dream garden. Brushes his hair. Carries the scent of lavender and warm earth. Sighs. Kind of sigh that releases thoughts. Not air. This dream, he feels light. Not the weight of power. Not the weight of expectation. It's the soft, content heaviness that comes right before sleep takes over. Small lantern appears near the bench. Glows without fire, a soft golden light, steady and warm. Flickers slowly. Like a heartbeat. King reaches toward it. Not to hold it. To feel its warmth. As his hand gets close. Light brightens. Just enough to show a path he hadn't noticed before. Stands, slowly, without effort. His bare feet touch the cool grass again. Steps onto the new path. Each step sinks quietly into the earth. As if the dream itself is holding him gently in place. Head. He sees a small wooden door. Stands alone. No walls. No building. Just a simple door. The middle of the dream. Is made of old, polished wood. Iron hinges shaped like delicate leaves. He approaches it and places his hand on the handle. Metal is warm. Takes a slow breath in. Exhales, calm and steady. Door opens without sound. The other side is a room. Not royal. Not grand. It's peaceful. Warm candlelight fills the space. Walls are lined with shelves of old books. Spines are worn and faded. Soft to the eye. The center of the room. Fireplace glows. Not with bright flames. With gentle embers. Quiet fire. Breathing slowly. Room feels like a memory. Memory of comfort. Memory of home. King steps inside. Door closes behind him. Feeling the world outside. There's a bed against the wall. Simple. Comfortable. Blankets look soft. Clouds woven into fabric. Runs his hand over the top cover. Feels warm. Feels familiar. Lies down. Not as a king. Not as a ruler. Just as a tired soul. Pulls the blanket over his chest. Softness embraces him. Room settles into its own quiet rhythm. Embers in the fireplace crackle. Once. Then slowly fade into a steady glow. Warmth touches his face. His hands. His breathing. Feels the weight of the blanket. Settling him deeper. His eyes grow heavy in the dream. Far away. The waking world. His body mirrors the same stillness. His fingers relax. His jaw softens. His breath slows. The dream room feels a presence. Not a person. Not a sound. Just a feeling. Peace. Whispers. I'm safe here. Room answers with silence. Perfect, soothing silence. Drifts further. Half in dream. Half in sleep. Garden outside fades into soft mist. Lantern dims. World dissolves into darkness. Not empty darkness. Comforting, warm darkness. Like a blanket waiting to wrap around his final waking thoughts.
Yeah, trying to beat the heat.
Breathing settles into a deep, steady rhythm. Hail. Exhale. Hail. Exhale. Every breath. World becomes softer. Thoughts become slower. Sleep draws closer. His body becomes heavy. His mind becomes quiet. Now, King finally surrenders to rest. Let's go. Sleeps. Dream no longer has shape. There is no door. No garden. No fountain. No stars. Only warmth. Only stillness. King lies in a space that feels like pure comfort. Place without weight. Without expectation. His body is completely relaxed. His breathing is deep and slow. Each breath feels like a soft wave. Hail. Gentle and smooth. Exhale. Quiet and long. Sleep settles over him like a blanket of warm light. He is floating. Not moving. Not thinking. Just being. World around him becomes softer. Thicker. As if the air itself is made of sleep. His arms rest loosely at his sides. His legs are heavy with calm. There's nothing left to do. Nothing left to carry. He has stepped away from every burden. The waking world. It surrounds the castle. Guards walk their rounds. The footsteps fade in and out like a distant heartbeat. Inside the king's chamber, the world is completely still. Fire has cooled to soft orange embers. Air is warm and safe. Moonlight slides across the floor. Rises onto the bed, touching his face. His eyelids do not move. There is no tension in him. No resistance. Only rest. Inside the dream, King hears one last whisper. Voice that sounds like the night itself. You have done enough. You may rest now. Does not reply. Doesn't need to. Sleep answers for him. His thoughts fade. Last remnants of awareness dissolve. like ink disappearing into water. No worries. No duties. No noise. Only peace. You may join him now. Let your breathing match his. Slowly in. Softly out. The quiet in your body. Spread through your chest. Your shoulders. Your arms. Your legs. Your mind. You have nowhere else to be. Nothing else to do. You are safe. You are warm. You are allowed to rest. Every thought becomes lighter. Every muscle becomes softer. Your eyelids grow heavy. Heavier. Heavier. This is your moment. Place without effort. Without expectation. Without noise. Just peace. As the king sleeps. Sleep. As the night watches over him. Watches over you. Everything is still. Everything is calm. Everything is safe. Rest now. Drift. Fall. Sleep. Night.